Hey, what's going on, guys? Bot Mentality here. Today I want to actually bring you a very quick trade review. This will be on BYND. This was a put I took actually on Thursday. And then later on I actually want to record a video and go more in depth into my overall analysis of this whole chart and kind of where we could go from here heading into Monday, and kind of some background on float rotation and on Andrew left, how that affected the stock, and just really what we could see in the future. But that's going to be a little bit too much information for this video, so I'll make another video following this one and talk a little bit more about that. But this is just going to be my thought process in the trade and what I could have done better looking back on it, because there's always room, guys. There's always ways we could have made more money, right? So let's go ahead and jump into this one here. Let's get these old drawings off. So first thing I want to show you is near term. We saw consolidation here around 75. We've been building for a technical breakout over the previous all-time highs right here over 95. So we broke out over 95. I'll go to the 5-day. We saw a rip up here to set a new all-time high here at 105.25. This was after moving from 86 to let's just say 88 to 98, right? A 10-point move in one day, a gap up above about 7 points from 98 to 105. We saw a triple top pre-market and then a washout. So how did I trade going into this one? So let me go to just the previous, the Wednesday and Thursday, and I'll cut off Friday so you can see what I saw and then how I went into trading that. So first thing here is we saw the market open here on Thursday, which was the 30th. And we saw a push up here during pre-market to the 103 and a pullback. Because we're at all-time highs, the only reference for resistance we have to use is, whole and half dollar marks. So we're looking at like a 95, 100, 105, 110, right? That's kind of like the psychological levels. So what I'm going to go ahead and do here is draw a line at the 105 exactly. See, look at that 104.97. Nah, guys, 105. All right, drew a line there at the 105 so you can see, and look how pre-market, how we responded to that. Whenever we got near the 105, we sold off. So we sold off here during pre-market, sold off again, bounced a little higher to 104, sold off here, and then started to pull back into the open. And then at the open, we actually saw a rip up to the 105. We did break it, but we immediately got stuffed, right? We immediately got stuffed. So what I can tell you is, looking into this pre-market, I was definitely looking to get puts. However, I didn't know when to get them. Were we going to rip 105 and head to 110, right? Were we going to fail out of the gate and maybe rip up afterwards? I didn't know. So what I was going to do in order to look for the puts, I wanted to see confirmation. And look, we got one of the guys in my chat room talking about BYND anyway. Looks like we got earnings coming up Thursday. That's going to be interesting. So I'll talk about that in the next video. But essentially what we had was we didn't have, it's clear the bulls are in control. If you look here over the past 10 days, it's clear the bulls have been in control, right? But as of recently, we haven't really seen a big crack for the bears. That's what I was looking for to get my puts. So we did end up getting that. Where did we get that at? I'll go to the 1 day here. And sorry I'm jumping around so much, guys. It's just so natural for me just to kind of zoom around real quick. But what we ended up seeing here was a push up into the 105, and then we saw the crack. We saw a heavy crack down here, which dropped us below the $100 mark and pre-market lows. So one of the resistance levels I would draw, or the support levels, would have been pre-market lows. Look how we held it here, and I'll draw that for you guys. I'm just gonna guesstimate it here, right about there at, let's just say 100, right, whole and half dollar mark. You see how we pulled back, and we pulled back, bounced off of it. Pulled back, held above it, held above it, held above it. Pulled back here, and even when we pulled back here hard into the open or before the open, we did hold that $100 level, push back up, and then a rip. So when we get a heavy dump like this, we fail to really break out over pre-market highs, and we get a heavy dump that pulled back all the way down here to 100, and we dumped through 100 and then got a bounce. That's what I'm looking for, okay? That was my cue to go ahead and get in. It was a bounce. We got through that. We have the pre-market lows here as resistance, right? We saw a big crack, especially if you look at the 5-minute time frame, which I'll jump over to. On the 5-minute time frame, this was obvious, a huge crack, right? We got some nice volume on it, the biggest since the first opening candle. So we saw a bounce, and this is where I took my puts. What position did I take? On BYND 530, I took 10 of the 95 strike puts at $1.70, and I sold them at $2. So I took those puts right here on this bounce. We saw a little bit of consolidation, rolled back down under those pre-market lows. And we saw this dump, and I took mine off right into this, guys. Right into that, right around 99. It was like 98.80. I think, was so right about here I took those off. And the sad part about me taking those losses, of course, I could have held them on longer and made a ton more money, but that's how it always tends to be trading, right, guys? So we saw this pullback, bounce, I entered the puts, and then we got this breakdown here, and I sold the puts here into this retest of the lows. That's all I was looking for. The bears have held control on the daily chart for the past couple days. I wasn't looking for anything too crazy. When you capture a, I got, what was it, 3-point move, going into a 4-point move in the options, those premiums move really quick. And for me, I was happy with $300. Of course, looking back, if I wouldn't have got out so early right here, we pulled all the way back to 94. I would have made $2,300 right here, guys, versus 300 just getting out so quick on this pullback. But hey, hindsight is always 20/20, right? So that was my trade on BYND. I took those off at $2, bought them for $170. The expiration was Friday, May 31st, so it was just 1 day till expiration. Made a 30-cent gap on those, which, 10 contracts, 1,000 shares, $300. So that's what I ended up making there. And yeah, so in a separate video, I'll actually jump into my thoughts for heading up into this next week. But I just wanted to kind of recap that trade and show you that even though the bulls have most definitely had the edge and the control for the past couple days, you can still trade puts when you find those short periods of bearish control, and you can make money on those while we're moving in an uptrend. But that's not where the best side has been. The most money has been made on the long side, which is where I have not been. So, I'll get better in the future, guys. But that is it. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here before I just keep rambling on. Guys, continue to stay focused on developing that bot mentality, which is the trading mentality where you learn to control your emotions so you can trade like a machine, guys. I'm out of here. Deuces.